The Amazing Digital Circus has become a sensation on YouTube, capturing the hearts of countless followers. Like many others, I was captivated by its unique animation style, and I'm sure you also appreciate it. But what you might not know is that there are no fewer than 9 official versions of this episode, each featuring different voiceovers in various languages. Each of these dubs brings a unique flavor, making it worthwhile to explore how each one is different from the English dubbing. In this video, we're going to dive into the differences between these versions. Stay until the end, because I'm sure you'll be surprised by just how strange some of the dubs from other countries can be. Let's start with the catchy opening song.
Jingle and Zubel and Caine are two. Raga the Jax and Caine.
I'm sure you've heard the intro song of the Amazing Digital Circus, and it's stuck in your head just like it is in mine. As with any good opening, it has been translated and performed in other languages. In this case, I find the German version the most interesting because, unlike the other versions where the opening is sung by a female voice, the German version is performed by a man. Another intriguing intro is the Chinese dub, where the opening voice is higher pitched than in the other versions, and certainly compared to the German one. Additionally, the voice in the Chinese version sounds more like that of a young girl. The other adaptations sound quite similar, but I didn't care much for the Portuguese version. I felt the voice just didn't match the show. In the Spanish dubbing, Bubbles' voice sounds pretty good. It's kind of adorable and has a sweet undertone. However, in the Ukrainian dubbing, someone decided to add weird effects to Bubbles' voice, but it's obviously a bit over the top.
Нагородою стане неймовірно цифровий банкет, приготовлений нашим булькошефом!
Залюбаю, на яка в мене є юридичний дозвіл.
What do you think? Do you like it or do you find it strange? There's something quite interesting about the protagonist's name in the Amazing Digital Circus. As you probably know, the protagonist is called Pomni, a girl in a clown's body. But her name in Russian is quite curious. If you translate her name, it means remember. So, every time the characters mention her name, they're essentially saying remember all the time. And when you mention Pomni's name in Russian, you're basically saying remember as well. A bit curious, wouldn't you agree? Now here's a theory that's gaining popularity among fans of the Amazing Digital Circus. Some believe that this scene is very similar to the painting of the Last Supper. Honestly, I don't know what to think. It's pretty strange, but I'd like to hear your opinion. And here's something that's sure to surprise you. In the Russian dub, which for me and many others is the strangest of all, Pomni insults someone, but it's quickly censored. In the Russian dub, however, several of these insults are audible, which is quite unusual.
Мы все через это прошли. Тебе просто нужно собраться с
Происходит! Что?
Нет, дорогуша, здесь мы не приемлем всего сквернословия. Удивительный цифровой цирк — это место, которым наслаждаются зрители всех возрастов. Ты, подруга моя, попала в невероятный мир чудес, где все может случиться. Кроме мата.
Боже.
In Spanish, they did a good job as well.
No, querida, no queremos nada de ese lenguaje soez por aquí. El asombroso circo digital es un lugar para ser disfrutado por todas las edades. Tú, mi amiga, tropezaste con un increíble mundo de maravillas donde todo puede pasar. Excepto groserías.
Ay, Dios mío.
Keeping the language clean since the Amazing Digital Circus is meant to be enjoyed by all ages. Yet, I think a few insults can still be heard. Now let's talk about a character who's a favorite for some and least liked by others. Yes, we're talking about Jax. His personality is quite distinct, and his voiceover in other languages had to match this personality.
Y Pomni, iremos a ver cómo está Cosmo, lo que deja a la Llorona y a Juja juntos para resolver el problema de Zubel.
If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now.
We'll take a look at how some dubs handled it well, while others, not so much.
Anong exit? Kung may daan palabas, sigurado kong lahat kami nakaalisa dito.
Вихід. Існує він, ми б не пропустили можливості втекти.
Дійсно. Про що ти взагалі?
Was für ein Ausgang. Wenn es einen Weg nach draußen gäbe, wären wir längst alle verdürft.
Im Ernst.
Remember the clown from the opening song? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we all know and call him Kaufmo, right? However, in other languages, this clown is known by a different name. Personally, I like the name Kaufmo better. What do you think? Now let's focus on an intriguing detail about Zubel. In most versions, Zubel is voiced by a woman, but in the English version, Jax refers to Zubel as he at one point, which creates uncertainty about the character's gender. However, Zubel's gender is unknown, and he could be either a he or a she or possibly an LGBT plus character. Regarding the LGBT plus theme, the situation is different in the other versions. In the Russian adaptation, Zubel is explicitly presented as a female character, while the other characters use pronouns and expressions indicating that she is a girl. This makes sense, given her voice.
What are you
This choice was probably made to avoid confusion, especially in Russia, where gender and LGBT plus themes are not as accepted. People might just not understand if a character with a girl's voice is referred to as he or they, and it would look weird and inconsistent. On the other hand, the German and Spanish adaptations took a different approach by simply omitting gender-specific pronouns when referring to Zubel. In the German version, the characters often throw in references to German pop culture, mentioning things like Bugs Bunny, chess, and other elements. For example, Caine makes a joke related to Mr. Proper or Mr. Clean, and in another scene, Jax refers to Kinger as E1. For those who might not be familiar, E1 refers to a specific location on the chessboard where the king is positioned, and Kinger is the king piece. I personally thought this reference was great. There's also a scene where the Gloink Queen compares Jax to a parody of Bugs Bunny, calling Jax a copy. It's quite funny. There's something very, very odd about some of the dubbing, and that's the adult jokes in some scenes.
Ми знайшли дірочку Зубел.
Шик.
In the English, whether it counts as an adult joke, but I know for a fact that in the Ukrainian version, there is definitely an adult joke. It's a bit hard to explain because of the difficulty of translation, but in this adaptation, they say something like, "We found a hole, Zubel." By the way, the Ukrainian dub is just as weird as the Russian one, isn't it? It may mean nothing to us, but to a Ukrainian, it sounds like a joke about the female organ. Interestingly, this joke is not present in the German and Russian versions, so it could be a unique occurrence in the Ukrainian translation. Share your theory with me in the comments, and I will definitely read them and add the best comments to the next issue. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video here.